Hey, love. What's going on with your sweetheart? Thanks for inviting me over.
Hey, handsome. Oh, thank you for the lovely flowers. Again. Please have a seat, Mr. Devon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I'm really feeling you. I haven't felt this way in a long time. But before we go any further, I gotta know some things. Now, when we chilled together at your place the other night, I felt like you were dodging some very direct questions. Now, don't get me wrong, everything was nice, and I appreciated the tasty dinner, and oh, I was thoroughly impressed by everything, and I truly mean that. Devon, how long has your tiny house been back there? And on whose authority are you even allowed to live there? That land is owned by the city. Secondly, what in the hell do you do for a living? You gotta be making big bank to live the way that you do. Have a glass of wine with me?
Mmm. Thank you, babe. You're so sweet, sexy, and classy. That turns me on. Yika, you are rare. And I'm not just spitting game. You are rare as fuck, baby girl. I would have been merry.
Boy, okay, stop. Devon, this is what you did the other night, and that's why I still have all these questions. Look, thank you. I appreciate the fact that a younger, handsome man like yourself is enamored with fluffy, puffy, middle aged old me, but you can answer my questions tonight. Okay, now, how long have you been living back there?
About 3.5 weeks.
About 3.5 weeks? Wait, that's about the length of time when I first met you.
Yes, it is. But it's just a coincidence, Yika. If I was on some bullshit, don't you think I would have harmed you already? Listen, I am a contractor, and I am in charge of overseeing the installation of essential infrastructure such as water, sewage, electricity, and internet services. That requires coordination with the utility companies and compliance with technical specifications. On the side, I am currently developing a tiny home project. Shipping containers have become a popular choice for constructing homes due to their cost effectiveness and environmental efficiency. Smaller spaces are easier to heat, cool, and light, which reduces energy consumption. Also, they offer flexibility and mobility. As for the land I live on, it is owned by a gentleman who used to own your subdivision as well. I met him when I was assigned to oversee the development of this area. We sort of became great friends, and we do business together. The city does, however, own half of that wooded area. I hope that explains everything for you.
My bad, Devon, sorry. I've just been through a lot with men. Never can be too careful.
I can tell, Yika. Well, I'm glad it at least hasn't made you mean and bitter.
Let me tell you a little story, Devon, baby. About 10 years ago, I met this guy and he seemed so dope, but I trusted him way too soon. He was a real Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He used me and disrespected me. I was too ashamed to even tell my girlfriends. Well, when I met him, he had nothing, but he was a real charmer. So I helped him get a job with my company and co signed for him to get an apartment. Once he was hired and settled into his place, his true character came slithering out. He began making moves behind my back on all the women. I started to see him less and less outside of work, and he would ignore calls. Then he began to be rude to me for no reason at all. Can you believe that? Then I overheard him talking shit about me to one of the other women, saying I was old, fat, ugly, and miserable. I almost had a nervous breakdown right there. I left work early and curled up on the couch in tears with a bucket of butter pecan ice cream. I just could not believe how he flip flopped on me. It was like a bad dream. Well, of course, karma came knocking. It's no way you can do a kind person dirty and not suffer any repercussions, right? One by one, each of those women fell out with him and went to HR. Long story short, he got fired. He called me repeatedly cussing and angry and threatened to beat my ass. Just when I was about to get the law involved, the calls stopped. I didn't hear nothing from him for a few months. Then, one day, I go to check my credit report. This sorry motherfucker skipped out on his lease. It was so foolish of me to even fool up with that young punk.
Yo, Why didn't you get your pops or your brothers to handle him?
Devon, my daddy never really gave a damn about me. Yep, I'm a fatherless daughter. Hell, that is probably the reason why my dating history is so jacked up. And I don't have any brothers. When mom divorced dad, she said she wasn't having any more kids if they couldn't all be by the same man.
Unfortunately, those type of guys prey on women like you. I bet he was rubbing his grimy hands together. You're too sweet and kind. And when you have no brothers, or men in your life who will protect your honor, well. So, tell me, where do you think he is now? Yeah, found your ass.